Welcome to Dan the Road Trip Guy. I'm your host, Dan, and each week we'll embark on a new adventure, discovering memory and life lessons of our incredible guests. From everyday travelers to thrill seekers and everyone in between, this podcast is your front row seat to inspiring stories of passion, resilience, and the pursuit of happiness. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Well, it's a cloudy day here in Cincinnati today. If you've been along on this journey with me for almost the past 3 years on Dan the Road Trip Guy, you know one thing about this show, it's about stories. I love the stories of my guests. Every now and then I'll toss in one of my own, and I thought I would do that today. For Christmas 2023, my daughter Lauren gave me the gift called Storyworth. You can check them out at storyworth.com. She basically gifted me with 53 questions that I would answer on a weekly basis. For the most part, I kept up, but then occasionally I'd fall behind and it became a mad writing frenzy. I hope these are questions she always wanted to ask me, but failed to. I know when my parents died, I had a lot of unanswered questions, and I challenge people on a continuous basis to make sure they ask questions of those closest to them, and maybe even people they don't even know, because everyone has a story, and I love hearing people's stories. So here's one of those questions. The question was, what was your first job? This brought back a lot of great memories for me, and here's how it goes. I have to go back to being 9 years old. I grew up across the street from Anderson's Grocery. It was started by my grandparents in Rock Creek, Kentucky. Rock Creek was well off the beaten path from the town center of Pine Knot. I am not sure of the year my grandparents moved to Pine Knot, but the store moved with them. My mom was a staple at the store until her retirement, working for our Uncle Earl, who had purchased the store. I have so many memories of the store, and one of those is my first job. My brother had left for college. My cousin Connie, who was Uncle Earl's son, had also left for college and then would go on to serve our country in the Navy. My brother would serve our country in the Army after college. I will always remember walking across the street to the store. My uncle was sorting pop bottles. Yes, there was a day when people bought soda or soft drinks. We called it pop where I grew up, in a bottle, which would be returned. When you bought the pop, you were charged a deposit on the bottles and then credited when you returned the bottles. Back to my first job. Uncle Earl looked at me and said, "You need a job." He put me to work quickly, straightening the pop bottles. That is what he called it. You had to organize by brand and the delivery person for Pepsi, Coke, or RC. Yeah, that's Royal Crown Cola if you forgot. For when they would pick them up. I quickly learned all the different brands that did not stand out as Pepsi, Coke, or RC. There were things like Tab, Sprite, A&W, Diet Right, Fresca, Crush, and 7-Up, to name a few. The other part of that job was to sweep the store porch every evening. The parking lot was gravel, which created quite a bit of dust. It was amazing how dirty the porch would get in just one day. I was supposed to do this each evening after closing at 7 p.m. Some nights I would get busy, or I don't know, maybe I was just lazy. I don't recall. The store opened at 7:30 each morning, and if I missed the cleanup the night before, my mom would wake me up early to sweep up. The other part of the cleanup job was picking up trash in the parking lot. Remember, it was gravel. This was done by hand, or occasionally I would use a rake. It is probably this task that has always prevented me from throwing trash on the ground. The most disgusting part of the parking lot cleanup was when someone would decide to empty their ashtray. I worked every day of the week except Sunday. The store was always closed on Sunday. If my memory serves me correct, I was paid around $20 a week. Not bad for a 9-year-old boy. I would later go on to bagging groceries, doing deliveries. Yes, we were delivering groceries back in the 70s and earlier, way before today's delivery services. We would take orders over the phone. Yeah, again, I guess we were ahead of our time. I would also stock the shelves as I got older, while still cleaning up around the store. I loved the store and all the people who were part of it. It is a memory that I will never forget. It was a slower time, I suppose, when people knew each other by name. They took time to have conversations. It was never just about a store selling groceries. and gas and feed and seed and everything else under the sun. It was about relationships. So I encourage you today in our fast-paced world of social media and the internet and fast-moving cars and all that to slow down and build some relationships with the people around you. Hey, you might even hear a story or two. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this short episode. I hope it gave you some thoughts about your stories and the stories of others. And I hope you'll come back again. Thank you for tuning in to Dan the Road Trip Guy. I hope you enjoyed our journey today and the stories that were shared. If you have any thoughts or questions or stories of your own, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. Don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family and help us to spread the joy of road trips and great conversations. Until next time, keep driving, keep exploring, and keep having those amazing conversations. Safe travels. And remember, you can find me on the internet at dantheroadtripguy.com.